Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back. I'm going to show you some clips here and show you how much trouble we're really in. I don't think people realize how bad it really is and how the thought police, thought criminals, have warped people's minds to the point where I can't tell if they're nuts or they're just saying this to try to gain control and power. Frankly, I'm starting to lean towards they're nuts. I mean, think of some of your liberal friends, relatives, people you work with. And imagine them in a political conversation, say, 3-4 years ago. Even a year and a half ago. Yeah, they were a pain in the neck, and they believe things that they believe the world is flat and, all that good stuff. But look at them now. They've completely lost their freaking minds. I'm going to show you some small clips here and maybe a little bit of commentary. But before we go on, I want to mention I'm being badly shadow banned again by YouTube. Anybody that can share this video anywhere to try to bump up the watch time as well as go through my playlist to put up the watch time to try to beat the algorithm, I personally appreciate it. So let's just see how much trouble we're really in.
Hysteria is like that. When large groups of people start acting totally crazy, the reference points disappear. It all seems normal, no matter how nuts it is. So with that feature of human nature, which never changes, with that in mind, take a look at this tape from yesterday's hearing before the House Oversight Committee. The topic was legal abortion, but because it is the year 2021 and we're all convinced we're cats, the conversation soon turned to the newly established scientific fact that men can get pregnant. Watch this.
And I just wanted to acknowledge a lot of people are being left out of this conversation today because, as we know, people get pregnant and not just women. But I hear people over and over and over again say women get pregnant, but that's excluding people that should be a part of this conversation.
Now, that was the U.S. House of Representatives Oversight Committee official hearing. You have to be sworn in, and any testimony you give, if not true, you can actually be charged with perjury. It's amazing to me. This woman, I can't say that, this person who looks like a woman actually believes this stuff. And these people with this mentality that the world is flat, 2 + 2 = 5, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, all the things that George Orwell wrote in 1984 are now coming true with a lot different of a modern twist to it. Because, of course, technology was a lot less when he wrote 1984. House Oversight Committee. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah, you don't want to exclude anyone. And it turns out that even in 2021, there are people out there who are still claiming that only women get pregnant. And they'd better stop claiming that or else. Amanda Presto just learned this. Presto is a writer at the Daily Wire, and by the way, a woman. So she tweeted this thought crime, assuming that she had biology on her side. She wrote this, quote, "Demanding others call you by your preferred pronouns and growing out your hair does not make you a woman. Stop demeaning womanhood." No, Amanda, you stop demeaning pregnant men. For her attack on the pregnant man community, Twitter shut Amanda Presto down. A few days later.
There you go. There you have it. When media and high government, i.e., in this case, the federal government, work together in unison, dovetailed together, that by definition is fascism.
Later, a senior member of the Labor Party was asked whether she agreed that men can have cervixes. She was asked on television. Watch this uncomfortable moment.
Now, I want you I'm not even going to say anything until the end. Sometimes I tend to talk too much. I want you to see how she's trying to say the words and they're so twisted in her head and she can't put them out of her mouth, and how pained she is to even answer a simple question. You're not going to believe it.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick, and it's great to talk to you.
Good to have you on.
I just think that this issue has just become so divisive and toxic, and it pits people against each other, both groups who face discrimination in society, women and trans women. And I just find this debate incredibly unhelpful and unproductive, to be totally honest.
Is it transphobic, yes or no?
Look, is it transphobic? Look, I don't even know how to start answering these questions.
Now, I don't know how to start answering these questions. That's crazy. If you're really a woman, when you go from male to female, why are they called trans women? Why aren't they just called women? And I'm not totally ignorant on the subject. I know a lot more than most, less than some. When I had my business in upstate New York at a convenience store, I had 2 trans women, as they call themselves, come into my store. And I was ripped one time at a televised city council meeting when I was in Binghamton City Council in the early 2000s. And I had one of the trans come in my store and say, John, I watched that meeting last night, and you're not prejudiced, you're not racist, you're not prejudiced against trans people. Want me to go down there and straighten them out next meeting? And I said, no, that's okay. Now, they end up passing away of cancer later, rest their soul. But that's not the point. And I had discussions for hours with both of them, especially one, the one that passed away, about what it feels and mentally. And it's a mental issue. I'm not saying they're crazy and they're going to do something stupid or whatever. It's obviously a mental disorder. Up until about 5 minutes ago, it was called gender dysphoria. It's been around forever, as long as humans have figured this kind of thing out. It's nothing new. Why is this such a huge deal? As she said, it's decisive. It pulls people apart. It makes them argue about the stupidity. You can appear to be a woman if you want to. You can have all the surgeries you want. Your appearance as a woman, if that makes you feel better, God bless you, fine. I have no issues with that. If you want to think that you're a woman, then that's your prerogative, I guess. But the rest of us don't have to accept it. Now, I gave this individual who called himself Rachel in my store all the common courtesy. In fact, he was incredibly intelligent. Very could tell he had a lot of education, spoke very well, was very articulate, and opened up to me about a lot of psychological things as a trans person. So I know a little bit about it. And I treated him with respect and courtesy, as you would anyone. But to demand certain things just because I'm a trans woman, no. Sorry, it doesn't work. She can't even answer the question, because if she does, she'll be crucified by social media. Again, the internet is supercharging, superfeeding this bomb fire.
Oh, come on, Rachel Reeves, shadow commissioner, whatever you are, the Labor Party. It's a simple question. It's not a debate. Do men have cervixes? But she can't bring herself to say it. On the other hand, what it says, quote, if we say pregnant women, we exclude those who are transgender and non-binary, which of course is not defined. So no more pregnant women in the Washington Post. That's an outdated, inherently offensive category like secretaries and housewives. You can just say reproductive organs, Chong said. And that's an order. The problem is that it may actually be medically relevant whether somebody has ovaries and a uterus. Reproductive organs might not be specific enough. Just released a graphic pointing out that, quote, only 31% of pregnant people have been vaccinated.
Now, look at this. This is from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, a top federal agency. The one that's been basically controlling 300 million people's lives for the last year and a half, 2 years. Only 31%, if you see on the right there, only 31% of all pregnant people have been vaccinated. This craziness is sifting in every nook and cranny of our society and is now in the Oversight Committee of the House of Representatives, the CDC, the top government agency for health matters and disease control. This is out of control. On the left, pregnant people with symptomatic COVID have a 70% increased risk of death. It's insane. It's insane. And those of you that say, well, you know what, John, it's just progressive nut bars. Biden won, and he's appointing all these knuckleheads to all these agencies, and it'll pass over. No, it won't pass over. It will not. It will continue on until somebody says no.
Not pregnant women, pregnant people. And then there's The Lancet, which not that long ago was considered a serious medical journal. The Lancet just released a cover with this headline, quote, historically, the anatomy and physiology of bodies with vaginas have been neglected. So that's the term. You thought you were a woman, now you're according to The Lancet, a body with a vagina. Absolutely anybody can get pregnant, and therefore anyone can get an abortion. Watch.
Remember when Hitler was elected, and he was elected, his very first official act was to padlock the family planning clinics and declare abortion a crime against the state.
Turns out Gloria Steinem was always pretty dumb, but back when she was 35, nobody noticed. But rewriting history, can't let you do that. Sorry, you're not Wikipedia. Actually, Adolf Hitler was an enthusiastic eugenicist, just like Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood. He encouraged abortion, according to almost everyone who studied this. Jeffrey Tumula, for example, a law professor who's written a lot about the Nuremberg trials. Hitler, like Gloria Steinem, supported abortion, not just as a matter of physical autonomy, but as a way to keep women working and contributing to the economy. Quote, the Nazis preferred that the Eastern European workers not become pregnant so they would not be taken out of the workforce. They took measures to identify pregnant workers and to encourage or pressure them into making use of the abortion services the Nazis provided. Experts at the hearings yesterday agreed. Watch.
I think that it's very important for us to understand the intersection of racial justice policies and gender justice policies and reproductive justice policies, because you don't understand why these bans on abortion are not about having more black and brown babies born. They want more white babies to be born.
There is no rational conversation about anything currently underway in the United States.
That's right. The facts prove otherwise. But here's the thing. It's my truth. If I think, just think of this for a minute. I said this in another episode. If 10% of the drivers, car vehicle drivers in the United States, truck drivers, everybody, said, my truth is, when I come to an intersection with a traffic signal, red means go and green means stop. Only 10%, 1 out of 10. It would be total chaos in every city in the United States. Transportation will come to a halt, not even counting the death and injury. But that's my truth. My truth says red says go. No, traffic signals in the United States, red means stop, and green means go. And that's the danger. If I get to believe whatever I want to believe, even if it's totally wrong and just factual and just ridiculous, common sense wise, it's true. If I believe that the police departments in this country are hunting down black young men so they can murder them, if that's my truth, then it's true. If you mention how many young black men in Chicago get killed every week, what? Well, no, you're changing the subject. And they just start stuttering and then they get mad and call you names. It's a mental disease these people have. And it came on quick. And now it's spreading. It's spreading like wildfire.
We have to say, just again, in the interest of fact-checking, that what you just heard is the opposite of the truth. New York City is the biggest city in America. It's got 8 million people. The abortion rate in New York among African-American mothers is roughly 3 times the rate that it is for white mothers. Thousands more black babies are aborted in New York that are born every year.
I know firsthand that abortion saves lives. For the thousands of people I've cared for, abortion is a blessing. Abortion is an act of love. Abortion is freedom. We need federal protection now.
Abortion is freedom. Finally, someone said it out loud. But is it?
Here's the thing. Whether you're really staunch on trans rights or pro-choice or pro-life or anti-abortion or pro-abortion, by the way, all 4 of those are separate. It just doesn't matter. Facts are still facts. But not anymore. This has to be stopped. Now, I know all you Biden voters out there, I'm not picking on you as individuals. Many millions of you are decent Americans. Look, finally, what you have voted for. When hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, I'll even call them migrants to be fair, are crossing the border at will, we have no border. When things like this in front of the U.S. Congressional Oversight Committee is being spouted, for the record, under oath, we are in trouble. Biden voters, you see what's going on, plus there's a whole slurry of other things. I won't even include the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now you see what you voted for. Finally, if this republic can survive until the end of next year, 2022, Biden isn't on the ballot, but a third of the Senate is, and all of the House of Representatives are. Now, folks, finally, put your anger and your hatred for Donald Trump aside and do the right thing. These people have to go before it truly is too late. And until the next time, goodbye and good luck.